Welcome back to the Ascension series. Today we're going to talk about star seeds. So I did two videos on TikTok. And first, I need to say there's a couple of people copying me and using my content and asking for donations. I don't do that. I will never reach out to someone. I believe that universal flow aligns us, and it's that soul's energy to reach out to me. So I don't do the reaching out and I don't ask for donations. So please shut that down really fast if you're getting any of that type of content. I don't like it. It's heartbreaking that someone would take advantage of people. Not my jam. Okay. We're going to talk about star seeds. I did two videos, one about like an energy forecast and where you're sort of fucking yourself up with your own card readings or getting psychic readings. So I got a shit ton of questions on that. And then I got a ton of questions on the star seed video. So I'm going to do two here today. First, we're going to talk about star seeds. The second video, I'm actually going to do a reading for star seeds and show you how to use your oracle cards. But let's jump into what we're experiencing right now. What is a star seed? What are we experiencing? There's a lot of information out there. Just go with what resonates with you. I am a firm believer that your soul is your internal compass. It knows what is right for you and what's not right for you. When it comes to being a star seed, that just means that we've had lives as galactic energies. We've had probably many lives, both human and galactic. My journey has been through a lot of different galaxies. I've had a lot of different lives as star seeds, and I've had a lot of human lives as well. So I'm kind of like a crossbreed of a lot of things. Um, but it's just put it out there with your intention. So if you're really aching for that information, you're going to just connect into your heart space and be like, what's meant for me, find me. And it will find you. And then pay attention. You'll get posts or you'll get articles, or you'll have someone talking about a certain type of galactic energy, and it'll resonate or it won't. And that's sort of how you find your journey. When it comes to discovering what type of starseed you are, I don't think it matters. What does it matter? You'll resonate with things and you won't resonate with things. So you can go on that journey and that hunt if you want. To me, it really doesn't matter. It's just you're here for bringing and anchoring a different type of light. So if you look at even the human species across the planet, across Earth, there's different cultures, there's different ways of doing things, there's different energies, vibrations. Same thing with our galactic energies above us. Whether they're above us or beyond the Arctic wall, that's up for debate. We'll talk about that a different day. But there's different energies, there's different purpose. There's some that are very advanced in their technology. There's some that are very advanced in their healing powers or their telepathy or all of those things. So you just sort of naturally gravitate towards what's right for you. Being a starseed on this planet is obnoxiously hard sometimes. So I'll give you some symptoms. My little sister, so she from infancy knew she was a starseed, and I didn't really embrace that until probably in my 20s. But I knew, and I was always connected into obsessed with the stars, the moon, especially the moon. Like, I love it. I love the energy that it offers me. So star seeds, you'll either just know, and you've probably known from birth, or you've had visions or experiences or lucid dreams. Sleep paralyzation is one of the signs that you're a star seed. Astral traveling in your dreams, having experiences in parallel experiences, parallel lives. I get a lot of that. The onset of like kind of waking up to this sort of way of being is in your childhood. I felt like I was in the wrong sex. I was like, I think I'm like supposed to be a boy. And it took me a really long time to learn my feminine, my divine feminine, and embrace that. But it was a struggle for a long time. I honestly thought I was supposed to be a boy. Um, so it had a lot of confusion there for me. Now I'm quite comfortable in my divine feminine once I learned that. And that's where my power resides. Anyways, different conversation. So feeling like you don't belong. Often we have learning disabilities. I hate that term. We're just different. So I experience OCD, ADHD, dyslexia, very challenging dyslexia. Then I have autoimmune conditions that I experience in my body. I am an intense empath to the point when I work with someone, I can actually taste what they've eaten. Like I can feel everything in their body, their stress or disharmony. as well as all of their energy, their thoughts, like all of that. I can't read minds. I choose not to, but I can pick up on what's going through your mind, which makes me an incredible psychic, which is awesome. So I get to help a lot of people. So you may have some of those experiences, like really intense empath, like you feel everything. I want you to remember with that, it doesn't have to be draining. If it doesn't belong to you, that energy, it cannot reside within you unless you hold on to it. So I always joke about it being a bad fart in the room, just waft it away, not my energy, no thanks. And I just let it move through me, but I do experience it. Um, Often we are insanely intuitive or intensely psychic, telepathic. I've always been telepathic with animals and the plant kingdom, now with different energies. Um, this desire for like, why? Why am I here? This is stupid. And this kind of apathy of there's no point. Like, what is the point? So as a child, we struggle a little bit more, especially if we're born into abusive, challenging, um, situations like I was. It just makes it really hard. As a little girl, I remember like a tremendous amount of abuse. Like my first rape, I was turning 4, my first rape. Beatings started in and around the age 3, abandonment at 4, right after I was raped, sexual abuse from one of my caregivers. Um, Not my father, though. I don't want to like anybody jump to conclusions on that. Bounced around with a lot of abandonment, a lot of different homes, physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse. And one of my caregivers was a strong narcissist, like a lot of dense, heavy energy. But I remember being little and thinking, why are you projecting that onto me? Not those words necessarily, but like watching them and observing the body language and the eye movement and the way their mouth moved when they were projecting abuse onto me and thinking like, this isn't for me. Like, what are you doing? So we kind of have this knowing in a way. Often we fall into heavy self-victimization in our, like, right before the big awakening, before we hit our dark night of the soul. We'll fall into an intense self-victimization of I need to be nurtured, and we don't know how to do that. We're not taught, so we lean into our disharmony. So for me, I experience a condition that's kind of on the spectrum of MS, lupus, fibromyalgia, and I want you to say I experience. I don't have. I experience. It's a very different energy, and I went into massive self-victimization with that for a very long time in a desperate attempt to seek nurturing. And I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. Then I hit my dark night of the soul. So there's some kind of like symptoms. We just feel off. We often have sleeping problems. Insomnia is very regular, especially in and around the full moon. And we're just like, we just don't feel like we belong. Like we're like, what the hell? So there's like some main symptoms, experiences that you'll have as you're sort of connecting into that. So everything is available for you. It's like a phone call. I have had so many galactic experiences. So my main galactic guide, his name is Max. He was introduced to me around 8 years old. I just remember looking up at the stars and thinking, like, there's so much more to this. Like, why am I from there and stuck here and feeling so small and that I didn't have an impact? Like, how do I have an impact when I'm so small? And the name Max sort of came through at the age of 8. And through that, I started really embodying that wisdom through my dream state. So I would visit, I would astral project, I can remote view, and I would just go to all these different dimensions or experiences. I sound all the crazy right now. I have been on spacecraft. I have experienced different technology. I have experienced different healing modalities that has allowed me to really awaken into what's available for me. I like to call it evolution. I think we're just all evolving. I think they're evolving, we're evolving, Earth is evolving. Um, yeah, I'll kind of leave it at that for now. So some of my experiences are, I remember when it really started getting weird, during my meditation. So I had a healing, I had a very dear friend. She's an amazing healer, and she was doing some energy healing on me. And my body was levitating and lifting off the Reiki table. And I was in a deep meditative state during that. So I made sure that I went into my meditative state. I called upon the guides that are here for my highest evolution, the most amount of love and wisdom that I'm capable of embodying. And so I got into this deep meditation as she was doing energy work. And another friend was sitting there just taking photographs. And in the photographs, these tall beings were all around the table. And I could feel hands, laying of hands and energy on my whole physical body. Like the blanket actually felt like it was moving. Um, and it felt so safe and secure and loving and healing and intense. Like it was like jolting through my body. My body was kind of trembling a little bit, quite a bit actually. And I sort of like lifted up into a V shape with my tailbone still down. And then I lifted and like flattened out and like levitated off the table. So that was my first like, what is happening experience. Then I had a psychic phenomenon, which was really freaking cool, where I sort of went down this trail one day and I was really attracted to this one tree, walked through a veil into a totally different realm on Earth. And that like lifted my ability with my third eye, sort of took the veil off that I can see the realms now when I want to. I can connect in and walk into different worlds on Earth. So there is many, many, many realms. That was very cool. I want to say that you cannot be harmed. So I know that some of these experiences can feel very overwhelming. And if you're anything like me, my ego loves anxiety. Oh, she loves it. She loves to go right into like, oh my God, we're going to be eaten by a monster, like all the way. It's insane. So sometimes during the evening when I'm having an experience, I'll feel that like jolt of anxiousness, and you can set the boundaries. There's free will. And if you are setting boundaries or you are demanding certain expectations, those will be met. So you're not going to be harmed. Every night before I go to bed, I just call upon my ascended guides, like whatever's available for me. And I'm like, all right, like I'm totally game. Like whatever we want to do, we can do, but only if it's in alignment with my highest evolution here as Dime, as this human. And then I get beautifully guided. I get lots of healing. I've had other experiences where I've been like a wave of exhaustion has completely taken over me. So I'll just be like farting around the house doing something. And then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, like I gotta lie down. Like what's happening? And usually I'll just lie down in like a massive attunement. So an energy attunement. So our energy has to match as we evolve. You'll get energy attunements to lift your vibration to match the galactic energy that's working with you so that you can understand and embody that frequency. So when I get this waft of exhaustion, I know I'm like, oh shit, gotta go meditate. Something's coming through. And it's an incredible, beautiful, euphoric experience. There's a lot, it's a telepathic conversation. You'll get visions, you'll get experiences, you'll feel them, you'll feel the energy moving through you. It's incredible. I've had that. I've also had the same sort of wave of exhaustion hit me where I felt paralyzed, and I sat on the couch and I just sort of like went into this paralyzed state, and a big portal opened up in like I had a loft home at the time. So way up in the staircase there. And these galactic entities came through the portal. It sounds so fucking crazy. I can't wait for the comments on this. Anyway, so they came through the portal, very, very tall beings, very warrior like, and they brought along this creature that was like a cross between a massive bulldog and a panther. It's the only way I can think to explain it. It's black. It's like probably 400 pounds. It's huge. And it's black with like these aqua piercing blue eyes and like a little gem right there. And that was a gift to me for protection for what I was about to go through. I was in a very narcissistic, abusive relationship that I didn't realize was going to take that turn. And it did. And that was sort of my protector. And at night, it would, still with that narcissist a-hole, in bed, that creature would start to shake the bed to put him into a state of fear so that he'd go and sleep in the living room thinking that ghosts were like doing stuff. So it was just like, oh, fuck yeah, that was awesome. So I had him for a long time, many years actually. Um, I've had, when I needed confirmation that Max was galactic, during my meditations, my hands, you guys will experience this for sure when you really get into it. It's wild. So, first thing is my hands will feel like they're on backwards, and my head will feel like it's twisted, my body's misaligned, and then it'll sort of like regulate out, even though I'm not moving. And then all of a sudden, like laying down with my palms down, my hand will start to like twitch like this. And it's like very creaky feeling because I'm not doing it. So it's like you feel every muscle fiber like move. And then my hand lifted up with my elbow bent and it starts swaying energy over my body. And I was like, what is happening? And I was learning like a healing modality. I didn't realize it at the time. And then it started like doing this and it would cross back. And so over the course of probably a month, this kept happening. So finally, I took a pen to paper and I let that movement happen, and it actually spelt out Max. And I was like totally crazy awesome. So that's many years ago. That would be back in like my late 20s. Um, so there's stuff like that. I will have recently, so I have had a galactic membership that we just paused for the summer, where I shared a lot of this information. My intention is to probably bring that information over to Rumble. I haven't started yet, but if there's a demand for it, if there's certain things you want to know or you want to talk about, I'm going to be bringing that information over there because it's just a platform where it's not going to get flagged as much. I think people kind of expect a little more wild information over there. So, yeah, there's lots of beautiful, amazing experiences that you have. Those are just some of the few that I can remember off the top of my head. What we're here doing right now as starseeds, whether you identify as or not, doesn't matter. I think everyone's a starseed. That's just how I feel. But who knows? And I don't know if we'll ever really know. Yes, they've always been here. Yes, they are part of our creative process, like how we were created. Um, yes, we're a lot of hybrids. We're all different. We all have different energies. We're here to anchor and bring that energy to Gaia to help the evolution of everything that's here, from what I've been shown and taught. Yes, there's an underground. Yes, there's some darker ones that have a different agenda than we do. Um, but again, it's inevitable, the outcome. We get so caught up in fighting, in screaming about, do you see, all the gates? We'll talk, I'm not going to tap on that in here in this platform, but all of the gates, all of the trafficking, all of the sacrificey sort of ceremonies, the celebrity world, like we know there's something, out there, but it's inevitable that this transition is happening if you just stop and look at how open-minded humanity is becoming. Not all of you, and I know I'll find out in the comments how many are not. But we're just moving into that open-mindedness, which then lets us move into curiosity. And through that curiosity, we experience our own path and our own vibration, our own energy, and our own purpose here. And it is the goal, the inevitable outcome, believe it or not, is bringing everything into unity. So unity between our galactic families, unity between humanity, unity between the way humanity treats our planet, the way we treat the animal kingdom, moving away from greed and moving into a thriving, united energy. And so starseeds, some of us are here way before our time, probably. I meet a lot of those where we're just like, what? So for now, it's experience. Enjoy this experience, enjoy the connection, open up to what's available for you. Like, why not? Like, what if? That's a game that I always play. Like, well, what if? Well, I'll find out. And just stay in that open curiosity state. For your meditations, I strongly suggest just becoming nothing. Be no thing. Empty out the mind, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 2 hours like I do. Not every day 2 hours. It's usually an hour to 2 hours for me. Just open up your mind, just empty it out. You can do that through gazing, just gazing at trees and try not to label anything. Or you can do it formally, sitting or laying down with your eyes closed, listening to music. There's no right or wrong at all. There is no right, there's no wrong, there's no hurts that you have to listen to or beta beta that you have to listen to. You choose what's right for you. You know what resonates, and we're all different. We're all different hybrids. We're all different energies and frequencies. So it's your journey. It doesn't have to be like anybody else's. So, yeah, there's that. Let me know your questions. And if there's anything that I can bring forward when I have the opportunity to jump on here and do these things. So, thank you for all the love. Thank you for all of the support. I can't wait to see the fucking comments on this video. Oh my God. I don't do a lot of public stuff on this. I've saved that for that's why we had the Galactic Ambassadors membership, so that I could talk freely in that space with people who it resonated with without worrying about all the like, but here we are. You guys asked, I answered. Love you tremendously. Keep shining. Let me know your questions and if there's any topics you would like me to bring forward. And as soon as I know, I think we have Rumble set up, but I don't really know. I have support with that. So I'll find out those details and keep you posted. All right, guys. Check out the other video where I'm going to go talk about Oracle cards, and I'm actually going to do a starseed forecast for you. So today's July 7th, the portal energy of 7/7. Yeah, so let's do that. All right, catch you later.